What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today we're going to talk about The Twits. This is a new animated movie that just dropped on Netflix, and I'm sorry it's American. Eh, I'm sorry I'm American. I, I I apologize on behalf of us to the British folk that we have co-opted something that is exceedingly British and stripped it of its culture and made it American to the point where Margo Martindale is voicing one of the Twits. I love Margo Martindale, and the juxtaposition of her and Johnny Vegas here is bizarre. So, what is The Twits? First of all, it does have audio description because I'm a blind film critic, and that's generally why I'm here, is to talk about audio description. And it's done by Descriptive Video Works, written by David Chen and narrated by Lex. I'm gonna go with Lex. I want to say Grant, but I'm not 100% sure if that's right. So, it's based on the Roald Dahl book of the same name. And, Netflix, I guess Netflix got the rights to like the Roald Dahl material that people didn't want. Like, I'm sorry to besmirch the memory of the Twits for all of the British people, but it's not Charlie and Chocolate Factory. It's not one of the ones that has already been adapted, that people have turned into musicals and made multiple movies out of. We've seen Willy Wonka. There's an entire candy brand based on this character that Roald Dahl created. Matilda, James and the Giant Peach. I mean, there are these things. There's a James and the Giant Peach musical, Matilda musical. And then there's the Twits, which is a little bit like a Wallace and Gromit type thing. It means a lot more to the Brits than it does the Americans. And I think that's why Netflix quietly rolled this out in October with very little sort of a promotional push behind it, despite the fact that there is a decent voice cast here. Aside from those voicing the Twits, they added some orphans into the story, and one of them is the lead of Never Have I Ever. I recognized her voice immediately. I was like, well, that's the girl from Never Have I Ever. Having seen 4 seasons of that, I'm used to hearing that voice. And I don't know, we also have Natalie Portman. Of course, we have Alan Tudyk because we need people to do voice work, and thus Alan Tudyk. Nicole Byer. Same thing with Jason Mantzoukas, because again, we need somebody to do voice work, and Jason I'm sure he just gets called for everything. And I'm sure with people like Alan Tudyk and Jason, they're going to be like, am I going to be seen on camera? Like, I think that's going to be, that's the question every time they get offered something. Like, is it voiceover? Is it? So, they've made a lot of changes to this. I've already, I try to do a little bit of my research on this because I have not read the books. I love people who react to it and they're like, well, the stuff that they added to the movie improved it, but I haven't read the book. And how do you know it improved it? Like, if you haven't read the book, how do you know it improved it? How do you know? I mean, it's a legitimate question. Like, I don't know that it did improve it. It might have made it worse. I can say that I liked it, but I have nothing to compare it to. Unfortunately, I actually did not like the Twins. The music here is kind of dreadful. It's kind of just like, who wrote this? It's kind of like how I felt watching Moana 2 and listening to any song that wasn't Beyond. Like, those girls, I'm sorry, I'm sure that they're super popular on TikTok, wrote one good song and a bunch of really forgettable ones, deeply forgettable ones that I couldn't sing to you if I needed to save someone's life. And that's kind of the same thing in the Twits. No one's going to be singing these. You could safely show this to your kids and they will not be singing this afterwards. They're not going to be like, Oh, let it go, let it go. Do you want to build a snowman? Like, there's nothing here that's memorable. So, honestly, waiting on a wish from Snow White is a better song than anything that's in this, and people hated that movie. Although this one doesn't seem to be faring much better. It's got like a 4 point something right now on IMDb. So the Brits are coming hard for this movie. The British invasion of IMDb. It's is it astoundingly awful? No, it's just not good. And it's even one of those films where uh I can't really pinpoint specifically what's wrong with it because it's not so bad where I was like, "Oh, I just was never interested." I was bored the whole time. And there were a lot of retreads, a lot of stuff that we've seen before. I thought, especially now that I know that the orphan part isn't even a actual part of the original Twits story, and somebody decided to rope that in there, I was like, I feel like we've done this before. And then now that I know it's not even a part of the original story, I'm like, then why do we do it? You know, like that same sort of like, if we do this, maybe our mommy and daddy will come back for us because, and they'll love us again. Like we've done that before. We have so done that before. We've beaten it to death. There's actually a couple dead horses out back that have been beaten to death with that exact plot line, and I just don't think it serves itself. It's such a weird movie. They also added these Mugglewumps in there, which are like Oompa Loompas, and they're even from like Loompa Land, but they're also not from the book. So it's like somebody liked the concept of the Twits, and just made like a Twits movie. But did they actually like the Twits? See, that's the thing about source material is that you can have somebody adapt it, but if they don't understand it and they don't know why it's popular and they don't understand why anybody likes it, you can kind of tell at the end of the day whether or not the film was a passion project. Now, I'm not going to say it's not a passion project for the animators because I think animators do what they love and they probably poured their heart and soul into this, but somewhere along the way there was a catalyst. And it wasn't the people who drew the film. It was the idea to make a Twits movie. And if it's simply because we own the property, I would say that Netflix for a few years now has had the rights to Redwall, and I don't know where that is. That was so if they can't figure out what to do with Redwall, but they keep finding ways to adapt random Roald Dahl things for the streaming service, you know, there are like multiple Redwall books. There's like a whole series. I don't know what to tell you, but nothing about this really worked for me. I thought Natalie Portman was kind of wasted. Uh, they end up swapping a whole lot of British commentary for American commentary, but then like they don't want to completely lose the Britishness of it. So you have like a couple British voices here. Like half of the Twits are British. It's just kind of a disappointing movie. It's not very long, but I just don't think your kids will like it. For kids that have been playing K-pop Demon Hunters on repeat, and if you try to swap them over to the Twits because you're like, please God, let there be a new movie on Netflix. This isn't gonna do it. It's just not. Um it's exceedingly mediocre, average, and all of the things that it seems to want to bring into the story just to sort of propagate the idea of the Twits. I think we've done this before where we take characters and we pluck the franchise, like right the ones that we know, and we put them into situations and movies and we don't fully understand what to do with them, or things just don't work out, like the Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle movie. Like that one kind of follows the cartoon, but at the same time it just doesn't work. Like it just is kind of a flop. Same thing with like the Yogi Bear movie. You could say that that's kind of adjacent to the plot of the cartoon, and it just doesn't work. So I think you have to have somebody who's passionate about the project and grew up with it and knows why that they're making it. And that started and stopped when they made it American, because I don't think Americans know this book or love this book, and this needed to be British. I get for Netflix to push money into this, they wanted it to have a broader audience, so they were like, well, there are more Americans than there are Brits. True, uh, but that doesn't mean artistically, like Aardman, if they had been given this franchise, I think they would have done great with it because A, they're exceedingly British, and B, stop motion and this kind of thing, the clay that they do for Wallace and Gromit probably would have looked great. Um, I'm not really sure any of this needed to happen or any of this needed to work. And they're so weird. There's like the catalyst for this are like fireflies living in someone's beard. My beard is clean. I don't have bugs in my beard. I mean, we all kind of have little tiny mites. That's kind of like one of those little creepy science facts that you know about yourself that are on like the surface of your skin. But other than that, no. Uh, I make sure to wash my face. So I don't know what Roald Dahl was doing here, or but I don't even think this came through in this adaptation. So it does have good audio description because Descriptive Video Works is really consistent. And I thought they did the best that they could with a film that is trying to be stylistic and give you those Roald Dahl vibes. But it feels like an amalgamation of Roald Dahl concepts, much the same way we're going to start getting with these Dr. Seuss things. Like Netflix has they have the rights to a whole bunch of these Dr. Seuss cartoons that they keep putting out for kids. And they're kind of like not really, they don't look anything like the books they came from. And we're kind of losing the thread. We're starting to miss out on the idea that the kids are going to read a book and then watch the movie. It's like we now assume that kids don't watch it, we don't read books, so we're just skipping straight to the movie part of it. And before, it used to be rewarding as a kid to read the book and watch the movie. And also kind of creative because there were some big swings back when I was a kid. Jumanji really didn't have much of a plot, and they made Jumanji. So it was more about the board game, but like from book to film, there are a lot of liberties taken with that. But I think they kind of worked because it became about this Jumanji video game. Not video, not the sequels of video games, the board game. Uh, I don't really know what the benefit of this is. They're banking that no one's read the book, and if you just kind of like other things that Roald Dahl has done, then cool. But yeah, I'm hoping Netflix gets this stuff out of their system. I don't know how many more Roald Dahl adaptations they've got coming up, but it's sort of like when Wes Anderson had multiple Roald Dahl. Like there was one, the Wonderful World of Henry Sugar, that was good, and it's very Wes Anderson-y. And then the others kind of were mixed. Like some worked more than others, his other little short films. But of course, there was the one that they were pushing, and then the others that were sort of like a byproduct of. So, uh, what else are they going to make? So, this doesn't work for me. Although it's not exceedingly terrible, it's also not good. So, I'm going to give it a 5.2 out of 10. This is rotten. I did not enjoy this, sadly. I was actually kind of looking forward to this because I haven't really been blown away by animation this year, and I'm happy I'm perfectly fine when it comes from Netflix. Like, I really liked Leo, probably more than anybody else did. So, and Vivo, and some other things that they've done that people don't necessarily champion. So just because other people weren't all about the Twits didn't make me think I wouldn't be all about that I didn't like this. This was boring. So, and that's kind of the worst thing to be, is just boring. And I don't know that the stuff that you brought into the film actually made the film any better. I would have rather seen an exceedingly British film like, I liked the new Wallace and Gromit movie more than I liked this. Uh, I think I liked the Chicken Run sequel a little bit more than this. Wasn't a huge fan of that. But yeah, I mean, those were better, I think. So I don't know why, but whatever. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'll see you guys on the other side.